How's it going, guys? Dawson Weedrick Nerdy in many ways, and like the past 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a review of college football this week, which is week 3 of the 2019 season. And now, in the couple videos past, I've reviewed certain games that I felt like were important. They're impact games of the week, whether they be like top 25 or top 15 matchups, and kind of talk about what they mean for the team that either won or lost, and just kind of generally analyze the performance of some players. But since this week there were no really huge games that happened, no really top 25 matchups that really took place, I'm going to be talking about some players specifically and some things that you need to just look out for. Just some takeaways from week 3, generally speaking. And so the first one that I want to talk about is basically, my opinion is Jalen Hurts has basically already won the Heisman, in my opinion. And not just saying that he's the best player in college football, bar none, but I'm saying that he probably already has people swayed in his favor to this point. Because obviously the storyline of Oklahoma having 3 straight Heisman Trophy winners would be a huge storyline. You know, everybody would just eat it up, gobble it up. And so I feel like in that aspect, that's definitely a more attractive pick right now. And also, if you look at the stats right now, even though he hasn't really gotten to the thick of his Oklahoma schedule yet, he only has 12 incompletions, right, on the entire season so far, which is 3 games, which isn't a whole lot, but still. And he's accounted for 13 total touchdowns. He has more touchdowns than incompletions. Again, that's combined between passing and rushing, but still, to have more total touchdowns than incompletions is insane. The last person I remember doing that was Robert Griffin III in his Heisman Trophy winning season. And of course, like I just mentioned, he ended up winning the Heisman. And so again, we'll see as the schedule for Oklahoma kind of gets tougher and tougher, more into conference play. We'll see how he performs to that level. But considering his past performances with Alabama and with the tough conference that he played against all the time, I would not be surprised if he continues this high level of play, at least to a certain extent. The second one I want to mention is that UVA beat Florida State this weekend, which Florida State is not necessarily the Florida State of yesteryear, right? Florida State hasn't been the best team in the past couple of seasons ever since Jimbo Fisher left. But still, for UVA, coming to the top 25 and really building up as a program thanks to Coach Bronco Mendenhall and some of the great recruits he's gotten, I mean, UVA looks like the team that Clemson will have to beat for the ACC title game. I don't feel like Miami's up to the task of getting to the ACC title game. I don't feel that, of course, Florida State is not. Syracuse proved to be not even worth a task to Clemson. But you get what I mean. UVA seems like the toughest competition that would be for Clemson to win the ACC crown yet again. Do I think they'd beat Clemson? No. I don't think anybody on Clemson's schedule, even in the unpredicted ACC championship game, could beat Clemson right now. I feel like Clemson's a shoe-in for the playoff, as well as Alabama right now, because their schedule is pretty weak if you ask me. And so those 2 teams are a lock-in. But again, watch out for UVA. UVA is a dangerous team. They're very overlooked, and I feel like they're going to really make some noise this year and have a lot of people questioning if they can really challenge Clemson. Third one I want to talk about is UCF might be onto something. University of Central Florida might be onto something this season. Although they've only had 1 loss in the past 2 years, so they've already been on kind of the national map, of course, crowning themselves as national champions in 2017, being the only undefeated team in the nation. But I feel like they really might be onto something this season, at least in the next couple seasons as well, because their true freshman quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, who has played phenomenally so far for UCF. And if you look at this past weekend, UCF handled a normally solid Stanford team. Now, as well, Stanford is not necessarily the Stanford of a couple years ago with Andrew Luck or anything like that, but still, as solidified of a program as Stanford is, and as quality a program as they usually have, that's a huge win for UCF. And they've had wins like this over the past couple years. I consider them to be the modern-day Boise State, like the Boise State of 2011, 2012, right? Those teams that would have a couple hard games a season, but would surprise people by winning them. And so, definitely watch out for UCF. I don't think they'll make the playoff. Even if they go undefeated, I still don't see that happening unless some of a couple of Power 5 conferences just don't perform well, right? They don't have a really clear-cut team to come out of there besides the obvious conference winner. But that'd be the only reason that UCF makes the playoff, is if they have to put them in the playoff. If the committee has to put them in there just because they're undefeated and every other team has maybe like 2 losses, then they'd be getting in there. But due to this season and the great teams that are there, like the Clemsons, the Alabamas, the Oklahomas, the Ohio States, I don't see UCF making the playoff yet again, which disheartens me a little bit because I'm a Boise State fan, so I always root for the underdog. I always root for the outside team looking in to actually get in. But As much as I would like it to happen, I don't see UCF getting it right now. But again, just watch out for this team because they're dangerous. I mean, they defeated Stanford 45-27, and that looks even closer than the game even felt. UCF kind of just gave us some garbage touchdowns late in the game, and it really was a huge blowout. It was really no problem for UCF. And so that's my analysis on week 3 of college football. There's just a couple of things I took away from it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also follow my different social media pages here, and I'll see you guys next time.